Hi, Midlife Goddess here. I want to talk about some sort of strange thing that happens in dating, and I'm gonna call it a rule, which is if a guy is not really right for you, he'll come back around. Something that I've told my friends for a long, long time is they all come back around. If you ever notice in your life or even your friend's life, there's always this guy that seemed like a good choice but wasn't necessarily, and he's gone. He might be gone for months, weeks, months, years, and he comes back around. He comes back into your life. And why does this happen? In my opinion, why this happens is that he has sort of something about him that keeps him single. He wouldn't come back around to you if he was in a successful relationship with another woman, right? And if you were the love of his life, he wouldn't have left. He would have known, and he would have made moves to lock you into that relationship then, right? But he didn't do that. He did enough to maybe get something sort of going with you. Like he called you, he invited you places. He did things that made you feel special, wanted, needed, all that. I don't know. Connected to him. And then you got to a certain point, and then he pulled away. And often guys who do this, they all come back around sort of scenario. These guys are really good at the beginning part of dating because they do it over and over. They're experts at the beginning. They're experts at making a connection. I talked to a guy who, how can I describe? Okay, let's start with this story. Growing up, there were a bunch of guys in my neighborhood, in my class, that a lot of them were cute. There were maybe I don't know, I'm going to say maybe 5 of them who at one point or another, when you're like in 5th grade or 6th grade and you say that's your boyfriend, and then you may not even kiss, or you may kiss, but it's your boyfriend, and then there's another one that is, and then when you're in 7th and 8th grade, which is kind of the time I'm talking about, there is a guy who, well, there were a few that I liked at that time, 2 specifically, one really specifically, who I would sort of make out with him at every party. I was a virgin, obviously. Not obviously, because people are not necessarily virgins at that age anymore, sadly, but I was. And so there was this one guy who was in my neighborhood. I never made out with him. I never thought of him as anything other than a friend. I never kissed him. Nothing. And I really think that somewhere along the way, he thought about it, maybe even felt rejected or something. I don't know. So he made this effort, this big effort, to sort of reconnect with me, and it was like he wanted to have that I liked him too sort of feeling, maybe. And I was kind of at a place where I was lost. I was working on a book about dating younger men, and there's my doggy. I was working on that book, and I was really not sure what I wanted in my future. I was at this point where I felt like I have a lot of stories, I have a lot of information, but I don't really know what I want. And I was also kind of at a point where I think I was like almost ready to settle. I was almost at the point where I wanted to try something different, which was maybe date somebody who I wouldn't normally date and see if that was the key, because I had definitely spent my life dating the guys who who were obvious yeses to me. So I was like, maybe this is the secret. Maybe I need to give a nice person a chance. Maybe. So he came sort of into my life and made this effort, and I was trying to uh, I don't know, maybe make things work, but I was in a very lost point. And then, much to my, I was shocked. I was flabbergasted. He was sort of keeping me like on the back burner, but he wasn't really making any actual moves, right? Like he was really good at getting in there to where I was considering someone I wouldn't even normally consider. I was, because he was good at it. He's good at the beginning of the relationship. And I thought about it. I was like, maybe this is what people do. Maybe people just find a guy and he's nice. And then also I had that like romantic thing of, oh, you never really gave him a chance even as kids, and maybe you overlooked him, and maybe you've always overlooked the nice ones. And I had all this stuff in my head. But what happened? Nothing. Nothing other than I ended up feeling, oh gosh, I guess my ego was a little hurt, because I was like, huh? He's not really pursuing me the way he seemed like he was going to in the beginning. That part that he was excellent at. Excellent. So, I moved on, obviously, as you would. And I started rethinking it, and I started thinking, well, right now, here's where I am now. Right now, I'm at this belief, which is a controversial belief, but the belief is that if you don't have that love at first sight with someone, you don't have the real love. Without that, it's good. It's a love. It's a companionship, but it's not that real exciting love. So that where I am now says, if I didn't feel that way for him back in the day, didn't feel that way for him when I saw him again, I didn't feel any sort of, I want to rip your clothes off feeling, which is what true love should feel like, this, take your breath away, lightning struck you kind of feeling. And when that happens, there's no question of what's happening. And when it happens for both people at once, then you have true love. And sometimes when it happens for both people at once, one of those people is dating someone else, or God forbid, married to someone else, and it may or may not stop it. Oftentimes it doesn't stop it. Think of like Sting and Trudy Styler, they were both with other people, but they felt that love at first sight kind of thing. And they just had to like act on it, and now they're still together. So the rule of they all come back around. This guy, every so often, he reconnects with me, and he's very good at connecting. He's very good at his timing and his questions, and he's able to have an intimate connection of minds with you. And I think a lot of guys who are good at the beginning of a relationship have that quality. They can get in there. They can get inside your armor. And I was like, wow, it's been maybe, I don't know, it might have been a year, might have been less than a year, I can't tell. I have no sense of time, but it's been a long time. I hadn't even really thought about him, and then I was like, huh, he's connecting with me again. He's wanting to play this game that goes nowhere with me again. Obviously, I'm not going to fall for it, but it just reminded me of They all come back around. That rule of all the guys who it's not really going to work out with you, they are not your love at first sight. They are not your person. And let's be honest, your person does not, there's not like every person's your person. You can go to dinner with somebody a few times a week and have a companionship, but I'm talking about the real love. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to settle. I was looking to settle when I entered into the idea of possibly dating him. I was thinking I was going to try something different. And now I am like, nope, no, no way, no way, no way, not happening. And now he's in around this, it sounds like the same kind of place he was in life before. And I am in a different place. A lot has changed in my life. I've been moving forward. And I'm kind of like, this is something I need to talk about. Because a lot of women, me included, have gotten swept back up in that one that keeps coming back like a bad penny. There's a reason why it didn't work. And there's a reason why it hasn't worked with him and someone else. He's not spoken for. I mean, if you're, most women, I think, most attractive women, attractive meaning not that you're pretty or beautiful or whatever, but I mean that you're interesting and charismatic and people like you. They want to be around you. Most women like that probably have several of these guys that come back around. So, should you even talk to them? What is the right thing to do? I don't even know. I mean, when it's a childhood friend, I'm kind of like, I want to stay in touch and I always want that sort of connection with the place I grew up and the connection of being friends with someone who's friends with other people that I might not want to be directly friends with, but I want to be peripheral friends with, just in case. Anyway, but I think it's kind of like just an interesting phenomena. And I don't know, do women do this? I mean, if a guy is watching this, do women do that? Do women just leave and come back, leave and come back, leave and come back every so often? Do you have women who do that to you? And what do you do? But if you're female and you're watching, I have got to say, it's like, don't get caught up in the ego boost of, oh, he's still thinking about me. Because that is there. You can think, oh, he still likes me. Yeah, he'll probably always like you to some degree. And he'll probably always like a few other people too. And it's all going to be that same beginning part that he's good at, but he has not mastered the rest. And if it was true love, it would have gone somewhere. You wouldn't have to be even thinking about any of this stuff. When someone meets someone and lightning strikes them, both of them, not in a stalker situation, just one likes and the other one doesn't. No, no, no. But, you know, when both people get that feeling, it just flies. The relationship flies. It happens very quickly. They're moving in together. They're getting married. They're mentioning the word love very fast. Very, very fast. It's not this dilly-dallying around. It isn't. And especially not when you're over, gosh, 30 even. Maybe before that. I think even before that. I've had love at first sight when I was in my 20s, and yeah, it just went right away. Right away into a relationship. It didn't take any time. So love at first sight on both parts is the way to do it. And as far as people who are wrong for you, where it's never going to work, they'll come back around. They all come back around sooner or later. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time engaging in this and dreaming about them having changed or something, because they haven't. They haven't changed. They're still doing the same thing as they were doing then. You have to be different. You have to be, and hopefully you are. If you're doing self-improvement every single day of your life, then you are. So, thank you for watching. Write in your journal every day. Walk outside every day. Eat enough protein every day. And really figure out, what do you want in life, because you can have anything you want, and there really is no reason to settle. Settling is for, I don't know for who, but it's not for you. It's not for you. You can have it all. You just have to know what all is. All to me is just this freedom in my life, and I would rather have the anticipation of somebody amazing and love at first sight than being with someone and watching a romantic movie or hearing a love song and being like, I don't even know that feeling. What are they talking about? Which I've been there before. Somebody who's good on paper, you know? You don't want good on paper. You don't want the guy you can live with. You want the guy you cannot live without. That's who you're going for. So thank you. Please like, subscribe, comment, give me your ideas. Thanks so much. Bye.